Today we're making really easy DIY concrete furniture pieces. For this one, all you need is a hot glue gun and maybe a drill. You can do it without, but a drill helps a little bit. And if you want to add in a jigsaw and an orbital sander, you can add wood to these pieces. This is really easy. We're going to take 1/2-inch iron pipe fittings and just hot glue them to the bottom of these big plastic punch bowls. Concrete is heavy, so we want some length on the pipe to really embed into the concrete. We also want to keep the concrete out of the threads. I wiped the grease off of the pipes and then painted them white with some Krylon Fusion all-in-one spray paint. I placed the pipe fitting in the center of the bowl and then dribbled some hot glue right down the center. Basically, I layered about 1/4 inch of hot glue, completely filling up the pipe cavity. Now all I have to do is mix up some concrete. For concrete, I'm going to use Quikrete countertop mix in white, but any concrete mix will work for this type of project. I just like the white because it's easy to color. Once the concrete was the texture of lumpy oatmeal, I poured it right in the bowl over the pipe fittings. For the first one, I'm going to leave it the natural white, but I added in some limestone green pigments for the additional bowls to get a nice pale shade of green. I filled them all the way up to the brim and then used a putty knife to smooth out the top. Now I'm not trying to get them glass smooth, I'm just trying to get them where they're smooth to the touch and have a nice sort of moon surface type aesthetic. I waited 2 days for the concrete to cure, and then I started the process of removing the bowls. Basically, I just used a screwdriver to try to pry the bowl and create a little bit of air in between it and the slightly damp concrete. Now the glue really wants to stick, so I used a heat gun to soften up the glue and then pulled the bowl off. From there, I just gotta cut the hot glue out and I'm ready to screw in some pipes. If you don't have a heat gun, a hair dryer with a hot setting will work, or if you have a cordless drill, you can just drill a hole in the bottom of the bowl and kind of drill out that hot glue. I was a little impatient for this one and I should have used a bigger drill bit because when I picked up the plastic bowl, the weight of the concrete caused it to crack a little bit. The punch bowls are pretty big, but this process works just as well with smaller plastic bowls. Now I'm left with concrete half domes that I can connect with a piece of pipe. I like these as side tables. You can use a whole bunch of them as a coffee table, but let's get a little more creative with the pipes and see if we can make a lily pad-esque adjustable coffee table. Here I'm using smaller pieces of concrete on the bottom and then the larger ones with more surface area for the tabletops. This worked just fine, but it would be a little bit more practical to use concrete domes of a similar size. But I like this idea as an adjustable coffee table. Now if you had wood floors though, I would definitely recommend putting some felt pads on the bottom so you don't scratch your floors. This type of easy concrete DIY project is how I got my start on YouTube. I really like them because concrete is such an affordable and durable material that works well inside or out. There's a whole bunch of pigments from limestone that can really let you adjust the color. And when you look at how expensive concrete furniture is from furniture stores, you'll realize that a quick weekend project can create a lot of value. Now before we get to the jigsaw and the wood additions, let's hear a word from the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform with over 25,000 classes where you can take classes in art, business, photography, and so much more. I've used Skillshare for over 6 years and I've taken classes on leatherworking, product photography, and growing indoor plants. YouTube videos are great, but what I find valuable about Skillshare is that the instructors are focused on teaching more than just getting a lot of views. The lesson plans include segmented videos, which I find really helpful because you can go step by step at your own speed. Some steps take a little bit longer to learn, so you can rewatch those little segments and progress at your own pace. I'm currently taking a class from one of my favorite YouTubers, Marques Brownlee. The class is on YouTube success, and I think it's always a good idea to learn from people at the top of the game. The first 1,000 of my viewers to click the link in the description box will get their first month free with Skillshare. Quite simply, I think Skillshare is a great option for investing in yourself and improving specific targeted skills that will help you achieve your creative goals. All right, back to the build. I used the same plastic bowls to trace some circles on a scrap piece of 3/4 inch plywood. From there I just drew a line to connect the two circles and then cut out the entire teardrop-esque shape with my jigsaw. Jigsaw cuts aren't perfect, but if you go slow and just follow right outside the line, you can clean up whatever mistakes you made with an orbital sander. I like to start off with 80 grit and then work my way up to 220 grit. I also round over the edges a little bit. I screwed on a 1/2 inch pipe flange, and now I can add a pipe of pretty much any length to create an adjustable height side table. This is walnut Europly from Columbia Forest product. It's pretty nice stuff, so I decided to coat it with some Maker brand Simple Finish. It's a really easy to use plant-based oil and wax finish, and you can just apply it with a rag, let a heavy coat soak in for about 10 minutes, and then rub off the excess. I like the combination of one wood side table that's a little bit taller with a shorter all concrete table. You can use them in combination as a coffee table with varying heights, or you could use them on either side of a sofa as a pair of end tables. I really like concrete as a tabletop surface. One, it's really durable, and it tends to stand out because most interior surfaces are wood or some sort of laminate. But these modular pieces are pretty heavy, so it may make sense to use them as more of a base. I'm always rearranging my interior environment, so I really like the fact that I can just screw in pipes of different lengths, add different combinations of fittings, and use these as bases for coat racks, lamps, and even bar stools. But the next time you're in a thrift store or at a garage sale, keep your eye open for inexpensive plastic containers, because anything that you see that's waterproof in plastic could become a piece of concrete. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and check out the full range of other DIY concrete projects that we've done. Okay, thanks. Bye.